I've had numerous conversations with people saying that they go to therapy, but I haven't seen no change in them. They still wicked and evil and deceitful and just trash people. And so basically what I'm saying is a lot of the so-called help needs help. I used to work with teenage girls in the system, and some of the head therapists and counselors, they needed therapizing. I don't know if that's a word, but it is today, and counseling, because they hadn't dealt with their childhood issues or trauma or whatever they may have suffered. But now you see the repercussions of that because they have low self-esteem and insecurity issues. So instead of them helping the girls in the manner that they should have been helping them, they're trying to, get the applause from the kids that maybe they wanted from their parents. I don't know. But all I know is I know a bunch of people that are not getting the help that they claim to be going to receive. Then it brought me to a passage of scripture in the Bible where, the Pharisees, which were self-righteous people who wasn't self-aware, that basically they thought they already arrived, because they went to the most prestigious schools and, just like people today when they go to the cemetery schools. Yeah, I meant to say cemetery schools. They act like they are the upper echelon when all they have is a piece of paper. Not, discrediting them or anything, but back to the story with Jesus. They said, how did Jesus get so much learning without being taught? Without being taught by their standards, not by the standards of God, which is the only true teaching. It's through the spiritual being transformed. Because Jesus did everything he needed to do in order for him to be the help that's needed in the world at that time. So now you have a bunch of people that's overlooking qualified people to help them, because they don't have this piece of paper or they don't have this big platform or a big title. Because basically I'm not trying to, toot my own horn, but you could take me to Chili's and I could sit down and tell you what's wrong with you. If you ain't got it like that, we can go to Steak and Shake through the drive-thru, or we could just take a walk through the park now that it's warming up. Because I don't mind telling you the truth and what's wrong with you because I want to see you helped by any means necessary. And so I just wanted to share that real quick. The help needs help. Peace.